Trigger warning. The following story contains themes of loss, grief, and psychological horror. Reader discretion is advised. In the quiet town of Greenwood, a young woman named Amelia was grappling with a devastating loss. Her beloved husband, Samuel, had tragically passed away in a car accident, leaving her shattered and consumed by grief. The weight of her sorrow pressed upon her like a suffocating fog, distorting her perception of reality. Amelia's days were filled with tear-stained pillows and sleepless nights. The empty rooms of their once happy home echoed with haunting silence. But amidst her sorrow, something sinister began to emerge, blurring the boundaries between the real and the supernatural. It started with whispers, barely audible, echoing through the house. Amelia dismissed them as figments of her imagination, remnants of her fractured psyche. But as the days wore on, the whispers grew louder, filling her mind with a cacophony of eerie voices. They spoke of unspeakable horrors, their words laced with despair and malevolence. Nightmares plagued Amelia's restless sleep. She would find herself trapped in a dark abyss, surrounded by shadowy figures that whispered her deepest fears and regrets. They taunted her with Samuel's voice, distorting his comforting words into terrifying threats. As the nightmares encroached upon her waking hours, Amelia's grip on reality weakened. She became obsessed with the idea that Samuel's spirit was trying to reach out to her, trapped in a realm between life and death. Desperate to make contact, she turned to the occult, exploring forbidden rituals and delving into ancient texts in search of a way to bridge the gap. Late one moonlit night, Amelia stood in the center of her living room, surrounded by candles and symbols etched in chalk. She chanted incantations with fervor, desperately seeking a connection to her lost love. In the midst of her ritual, the air grew dense, and a chilling breeze swept through the room. A presence materialized before her, an ethereal figure that bore a striking resemblance to Samuel. Her heart swelled with hope and trepidation. Was it really him, or just a figment of her desperate imagination? The apparition spoke in Samuel's voice, but its words were filled with darkness and anguish. It accused Amelia of being responsible for his death, each accusation a knife that pierced her already shattered heart. The lines between her guilt and reality blurred, and she became convinced that Samuel's spirit was indeed haunting her, seeking vengeance for her perceived sins. Haunted by the malevolent presence, Amelia's life unraveled. Her mental and emotional state deteriorated as she fell deeper into a spiral of grief and paranoia. She withdrew from the outside world, her only companions the whispers and hallucinations that tormented her day and night. In a desperate attempt to find answers and solace, Amelia sought the help of a renowned paranormal investigator named Drive. Benjamin Grayson. Driven by his own curiosity and a desire to understand the depths of the human mind, he agreed to take on Amelia's case. Dr. Grayson delved into Amelia's history, unearthing the trauma and guilt that plagued her since Samuel's death. He recognized the signs of a fragile psyche, teetering on the brink of collapse. But he also sensed something deeper at play, a darkness that transcended ordinary grief. Together, Amelia and Dr. Grayson embarked on a treacherous journey through the labyrinth of her subconscious. They delved into repressed memories and confronted the demons that held her captive. As they peeled back the layers of grief, they discovered a hidden truth. Amelia's guilt was a manifestation of her own self-blame, a desperate attempt to make sense of an incomprehensible loss. With each revelation, the grip of the supernatural presence weakened. Amelia began to realize that the haunting and disturbing manifestations were born from her own psychological torment. The whispers, the apparitions, and the accusations were projections of her guilt and anguish, magnified by her fragile state of mind. Dr. Grayson employed a combination of therapy, medication, and support to help Amelia confront her demons head-on. Together, they unraveled the complex web of her grief, addressing the unresolved emotions that had festered within her. As Amelia peeled away the layers of guilt, a transformation occurred. The whispers grew faint, replaced by a newfound sense of clarity. She confronted the apparition that had tormented her, realizing it was an embodiment of her own self-doubt and pain. It dissolved into nothingness, fading into the recesses of her mind. But even as Amelia began to heal, a lingering question remained: had she truly defeated the supernatural, or had it merely retreated, waiting for the opportunity to resurface? The specter of uncertainty hung over her, a reminder of the delicate balance between the real and the supernatural. Amelia's journey of healing and self-discovery became a testament to the depths of human resilience. She emerged from the darkness with a newfound strength, determined to live a life that honored Samuel's memory and embraced the present. Years passed, and Greenwood gradually returned to its peaceful state. Amelia, now a beacon of hope for those who had experienced loss, dedicated herself to supporting others through their grief. She founded a support group, offering solace and understanding to those who felt trapped in their own haunted realities. As for Amelia, the whispers and apparitions became a distant memory, a testament to her journey from darkness to light. Though she would never forget the depths of her grief, she transformed her pain into empathy, her fear into strength. But deep within the shadows, there lingered a hint of the supernatural, a reminder that the line between the real and the otherworldly is tenuous. Amelia accepted this truth, understanding that the scars of her past would forever shape her perception of the world. And as she moved forward, Amelia embraced her newfound resilience, living each day with the knowledge that within the depths of grief, one can find the strength to face even the most haunting manifestations of the mind.